the most popular sport in the world. Epic encounters and unforgettable moments. Star football players who are seen as gods in the eyes of the fans. And it's a multi-million, even multi-billion-dollar industry. A global event. Have you ever wondered about the history of football? Pre-modern football. So let's take a quick trip back in time. There is no clear document showing the date and place of the emergence of world football, today's most popular sport. But most historians agree that this ball game has been played in some form for at least more than 3,000 years. The earliest known examples of team play involving a stone ball occurred over 3,000 years ago in ancient Mesoamerican cultures. Although various versions of the game were widely spread, it was called chatali by the Aztecs. In some ceremonies, the ball symbolized the sun and the captain of the losing team was sacrificed to the gods. The first known ball game including kicking took place in China in the 3rd and 2nd centuries BC under the name kuju. Kuju was played with a round ball on a square field. A modified form of this game later spread to Japan and became known as kimari, practiced in ceremonial forms. Various other ball games were known from ancient Greece. The ball was made by shreds of leather filled with hair. However, ball games had a low status and were not included in the Pan-Hellenic Games. In ancient Rome, collective games were not included in the entertainment in large arenas but took place in military exercises under the name of harpastum. It was Roman culture that would bring football to the English island. The first football match was played in England in the 700s, and the origin story is odd. Natives in eastern England celebrated by kicking the severed head of the Danish prince they had defeated in battle. This form of celebration continued in the following years. These games were extremely violent. It wouldn't be unusual to get hurt and die. In 1331, this barbarian celebration game was still popular in Britain. King of England Edward III passed the law to stop this game. The most widely accepted story tells that the game was developed in England in the 12th century. In this century, football-like games were played on meadows and roads in England. Besides kicks, the game also involved punching the ball with the fist. This early form of football was much harsher and more violent than the modern form of play. An important feature of the pioneers of football was that games were played with large numbers of people and played in large areas in cities. The rage of these games wreaks havoc on the town and sometimes causes the death of the participants. It was to be banned in 1835, but by this stage the game had become established in public schools. For a long time there was no clear distinction between football and rugby. A significant difference can be seen between the English and Scottish teams at this stage. While the English teams preferred to run the ball forward in a more rugby style, the Scots chose to pass the ball between their players. It will soon be the Scottish approach that becomes dominant. Sport was originally a pastime for the British working class. An unprecedented number of spectators of up to 30,000 would watch the big games in the late 19th century. In 1815, Eton College in England established the rules for football. In 1820, football came to the United States and was played between colleges such as Northeastern University, Harvard, Princeton, Amherst, and Brown. In 1848, the rules were further standardized and all schools, colleges, and universities adopted the version known as the Cambridge Rules. The world's first football club was founded in England in 1857 under the name Sheffield Football Club. The first football club established in a country other than England was Oneida Football Club, which was opened in Boston, USA in 1862. In 1872, the first official international football match between the Scotland and England national teams was played in Glasgow, Scotland. The match was played on November 30th, 1872 and ended in a 0-0 draw. In 1883, the 4 British federations agreed on the same rules and the International Football Association Board was created. The first international football match between teams outside England was played in Newark in 1885 between the USA and Canada. Canada won 1-0. In 1888, the penalty kick entered football. In 1900, football was played for the first time at the Olympics. Delegates from France, Belgium, Denmark, the Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland attended a meeting in Paris, and on May 21, 1904, FIFA was established. The International Football Federation organized the first Football World Cup tournament with 13 teams in Montevideo, Uruguay in 1930. The USA won the first Women's World Cup held in China in 1991. The 1996 American women's soccer team won the first women's soccer game at the Olympics. Here is the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you. Goodbye.